but I was hoping that you might be able to share with our listeners that egg analogy, why you came up with that analogy and how it relates to the changes that we are now seeing in settlement patterns as a result of COVID-19.
Absolutely. So what I pointed to was that before COVID, our capital cities, really is the case for every capital city, very much looked like a fried egg, where all the big, fat, juicy, delicious jobs are clustered in the egg yolk, and the population is distributed in the egg white across the yolk. And people, in order to avoid the soul-destroying commute, or at least shorten the soul-destroying commute, were willing to pay a premium to have housing near the city center. That means the rich folks lived reasonably close to the city center, and the poor folks lived on the outer edge of the egg. And that's what we dealt with. That's what our cities look like. From a transport perspective, that's a nightmare because everyone commutes into the city at the same time in the morning, out of the city at the same time. That all but guarantees gridlock in the system. And the poorer you are, the longer you have to do a soul-destroying commute. So everyone is unhappy, particularly the poorer people are unhappy. That, of course, was driven because of the location of the jobs, because the jobs dictated where people had to work, and then this led to where people chose to live. All of a sudden, we had the pandemic, and the pandemic allowed us to take over 50% of the jobs in a city that was in full lockdown, like Melbourne, from the office towers into spare bedrooms, onto kitchen benches. And it really was like taking a spatula to the fried egg and creating a scrambled egg city where the jobs are not clustered in the city center anymore, but they are much more evenly distributed across the frying pan, if you will. And what does that do to us? Well, all of a sudden, you don't need to commute. That's somewhat interesting. There will still be, in the long run, a CBD, but we will transition from 5% of the population working from home before COVID to somewhere like 15, 16, 18% of the population working from home on any given day. That means fewer cars on the road, fewer people in trams on any given day. That means more daytime population in suburbia. So there's a bit of a reshuffling happening there. And then, of course, once you worked from home for a little while, you understand that's quite nice. I actually like this. So maybe I will not want to go to the office every single day. And if I don't go to the office anymore every single day, maybe just 1 or 2 days, maybe not at all anymore, why would I want to pay a premium to live near the city center? That lost its attraction to me. So all of a sudden, I can move to either more affordable areas, which would be the urban fringe, which would be suburbia, which would be the regional towns surrounding my city center. So that's nice. So all of a sudden, you have the population redistributing, reshuffling based on COVID.